We don't want to ruin the health care we have in this country so we can share a ruined product with everybody. What we want to do is figure out how to preserve the quality of our health care and share it with everyone. And we can do that if we do it through private markets. If we try to do it through government, we're headed for a real problem. What we have to do a better job of explaining ourselves in the countries in which we're represented. We don't. And the reality is that we can't get, in this particular case, we cannot get angry at the media. The media is just doing their job. They report what people say. We love that. That's what the free press is all about. That's what freedom of speech is all about. In this particular case, we're not doing our job of taking advantage of that free press and taking advantage of that media. Any single network that broadcasts a disparaging thing about the United States will be more than happy to put on somebody else to get a better story, then put on somebody else that will tell the other side of the story. We just don't have the somebody else. So we just get pounded. It'd be like in a political campaign if every day somebody went on TV and criticized me. Well, they do. Okay. And criticized me, and I didn't answer. I mean, and if there's an answer, I sure as heck want to give it. And well, there are much better answers for the United States than for anything. We're just not doing it right. I would reorganize the State Department to think of itself this way. Think of the State Department as defending and explaining the United States of America in the countries in which they exist, in the countries in which they are representing the United States. Every single person that got appointed an ambassador, I would say to them, what's the purpose of your representing us in this country? The main purpose is to make America popular there. The second purpose is to explain that country to us, not the other way around.
Great idea.
Okay, one more question. And then we'll go watch the World Series. Okay, we'll take two more questions. You go first, and you go last. Okay. Do I have any plans for the younger generation in retirement? I have two plans for the younger generation that I think, and many, many others, but two that I think fit this. One is, I believe that they should be allowed the option for a certain amount of their money if they want for private accounts. They can have the government handle all their money if they want to, but they should. I'm all about trusting people more. And they should, they're young, they're starting their careers. If they want to have a certain amount of that money go into private accounts because they believe it will grow better that way, they have a right to take that risk. And they have a right to make that count. These are very intelligent, very well-educated young people. They can make better decisions about their money, I think, than the government can. And I generally believe that about the American people. There's a second thing I would do that would help also. And it would help also toward retirement. The major thing wrong with our health, the economics of healthcare in America is the tax code. And a lot of people don't realize this. There's a bias built into the tax code that has created this rigid healthcare insurance market where healthcare insurance is so expensive and it covers less and less and less. It's being controlled by like a command and control mechanism because not enough people buy their own health insurance. In fact, almost nobody buys their own health insurance. People are either covered by government, Medicare, Medicaid, or they're covered by their employer. Even if they're their own employer, they're covered by their employer through their business. So nobody ever pays attention to really what it covers and how much it costs. There's no market. So what I would do is I would give them, everybody, a big tax deduction. But this would help young people the most. Give them a big tax deduction. $15,000 a family, $700 a person. You get that in tax-free income. You can go buy your own health insurance. If you can get health insurance for less than that, you keep the difference in a health savings account, which is also tax-free. So let's say you're not married, don't have a family. You go find a policy for $5,000. You can keep $2,500 tax-free money. Instead of your employer buying your insurance from you, if you're in that situation, you can go to your employer and say, instead of buying it for me, just give me the $7,500 in tax-free money. It's tax-free to me either way. See, right now, the reason everybody is covered by their employer is, if your employer goes out and buys you health insurance, it's not taxable income for you. It's a nice way to give you a benefit without you having to pay taxes. Well, if we make it equal, then you can go buy it yourself plus you can have this health savings account, I think a lot of people will go out and buy their own health insurance. And I think young people, when they think about it, will like this a lot because it does two things for them. First, young people are going to work many jobs before they end their career nowadays. The average time that somebody spends in any one job now is only 6 years. Actually, it could be down to 4 years. It may be down to 4 years. That was a couple of years ago. It could be down to 4 years. That means they're gonna. You're a young person, so I'm pointing at the two of you. They're gonna probably work for 5, 6, 7, 8 different employers, if not be self-employed. That means they're gonna be switching health insurance constantly. Some employers have it, some don't. They all have different programs. You have a good program, the next one doesn't have as good a program. You like all your doctors, now you got to switch all your doctors. You like the medicines you're getting, now you got to switch all the medicines you're getting. They should be able to buy their own health insurance policy right at the very beginning, develop this health savings account, put aside $2,000 or $3,000 a year in a health savings account. Since they have the health savings account, they can set up a deductible, which would make their health insurance cheaper. $1,000, $2,000 deductible. That means you're willing to spend $1,000 or $2,000 out of your pocket to reduce your premiums. A young person is probably not going to have to do that most years, so you can save it for when you really have to spend a lot of money, which is toward the end of your life. If you don't have to spend it, you got a whole new big retirement vehicle. It creates equity. It creates more investment, which this country needs. And here's the most important thing it does. It creates the single one thing that brings down price and increases quality. Competition, which we don't have now. We've got the, and what the Democrats want to do, the Democrats want to feel your pain, but do nothing about it. They do. Because they want to give you this magic solution. Universal health care for everybody. Whenever anybody tells you, for everybody, a chicken in every pot, a bond for every child that's born, health care for everyone. You got to realize it's a trap. It means it's going to become real expensive, and the quality of it's really going to go down. One person said, when they make health care free, you'll see just how expensive it becomes and how decrepit it becomes. So, if you did what I said, the price of health care insurance would go down by 50%, 60%, 70%, and you say to me, that's impossible. You're just saying that. I'll leave you with one thought, and then I'll take your question. This is about young people. I was at somebody's house a couple months ago when the iPhone came out. Do you know the iPhone? Right. The iPhone is like this magic thing. I was going to get it, but it doesn't have baseball games. So I said, I was at a friend's house. He has two children. Both of them were about 19, 20, 21 years old. And one of them had the iPhone. One had just gone out and bought the iPhone. And he was programming and showing me how he programmed it. The other one was just sitting there writing something. Didn't have an iPhone. So I said, how come you didn't go get an iPhone? And the kid who didn't have one said, because I'm going to buy one in 6 months when they half price. And I said to the first kid who had the iPhone, you're going to have a really good job as a computer programmer. And I looked at the other kid and said, you're going to be a billionaire. You figured out American Economics 101, 102, 210, Advanced American Economics. That's how it works. The people who can't afford health insurance buy things. The people who can't buy things get Medicaid. They're the very poor.